ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् Madhav, audible I am?
Yes, Swamiji, clearly.
Okay. Okay. Screen is okay?
Yes.
Speaker screen. Okay. Now, friends, we have completed 5 verses of Atma Bodha. Very beautiful verses written by Shankaracharya ji. So, yesterday we saw 2 important points. Jiva is parichinna iva ajnanat. On account of ignorance, this Jiva, who is essentially infinity in consciousness, feels himself to be limited. When that ignorance or avidya is destroyed, ajnana is destroyed, then he rediscovers himself to be infinity. Then that self shines forth in its own glory. Meghapaye amshamaniva. When the clouds are removed, the sun emerges out. So sun is megha means ajnana rupi clouds ko jnana rupi, vritti jnana rupi winds. When they clear it away, shatter, this self alone prakashate. So how to do that? Jnana abhyasat vinirmalam, for which jnana abhyasa is required for purification. And Katakarenuvat, that Ajnanam, Vritti also is destroyed. So far we saw 5 shlokas. Now we have want to recapitulate now. All about what all we saw in first 5 shlokas. Again we will recapitulate in points wise. What is that first 5 verses? It lays foundation, base. A base is laid for this text. So what is the thing mentioned here? First point is avidya, ignorance is the disease that all of us have. It is moola karanam. Avidya is the moola karanam for all the samsara dukkha. First one. So unless ignorance is removed, happiness cannot be gained. Happiness of our own essential nature cannot be gained unless we remove this avidya. So why should we remove avidya? Because true happiness lies in atma, atma jnanam, or knowing in our own self. That is a true bliss. The bliss or happiness, not bliss, the happiness or pleasure what we get in samsara is only momentary. Okay. So how do we know ourselves? To know ourselves, we have to gain knowledge or atma jnanam. In atma bodha, that bodha is to be gained. Bodha means what? Vritti jnanam. So to gain this vritti jnanam, one must become first adhikari. Who is adhikari? One who has viveka, vairagya, shat sampatti and mumukshutva. This was told in the first verse. Then Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, when we ask, why are you emphasizing so much of knowledge alone? Can't we get any other method to realize the truth? So remember, friends, every other method is brought under the category of karma only. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that karma, what is the two things? Jnanam and karma. So karma cannot remove avidya because they are not opposites. Karma and avidya are not opposites. Like light can remove the darkness because they are opposites. When light is there, darkness cannot exist. So when the darkness is there, bring light, darkness goes away. Therefore, avidya is parichinnata, limitation, a sense of limitation is avidya. So this can be removed only by jnana abhyasa. So what is the meaning of jnana abhyasa? That we saw tat chintanam, tat kathanam, anyonya tat prabodhanam, etadeva paratvam cha brahmabhyasam vidurbhudaha. So tat chintanam, tat kathanam, anyonya tat prabodhanam. We saw yesterday, so I am not repeating it again. Or we can say brahmabhyasam means what? Shravanam, mananam and nididhyasanam. So these things have to be done. Till all these things lead us to Akanda Brahmakara Vritti. The Vritti, only one Vritti. It is Akhandam, Brahmakara Vritti. It Sarva Vyapaka Vritti forms. And that Vritti destroys ignorance and Vinkshana that comes, it destroys ignorance, it itself disappears. How does it disappear? Kataka Renuvat, Jalam Kataka Renuvat. Like yesterday we saw, as Kataka Renu, it will remove the dust and itself settles down and leaving the pure water alone untouched. So this is the essence of our visa. So let us now read the 6th sloka. संसार स्वप्न तुल्यो हि रागद्वेषादि संकुलः संसार स्वप्न तुल्यो हि रागद्वेषादि संकुलः स्वकाले सत्यवद्भाति प्रबोधे सत्य सद्भवेत् स्वकाले सत्यवद्भाति प्रबोधे सत्य सद्भवेत्. So we say that this Atma is Purnam. Actually this Atma Tattva is Purnam. It appears to be Apurnam, not becomes. It appears to be Apurnam because of ignorance. Now we are going to analyze now onwards how and what are all the problems created by avidya. This is analyzed. That means what is the job of avidya? What is the function of avidya? What is the role of avidya, ajnana? How it binds us to samsara? All these things are analyzed now in the coming shlokas. Now see friends, before that we go to important thing is we must little bit understand, I'm not going into depth of all that analysis. We have to remove ajnana. So ajnana has got two other names also. One is ajnana, total 3 names we have. Ajnanam or Moola Avidya or Maya. We can take all the 3 are same. Ajnanam, Moola Avidya or Maya. Now we have to just understand what is this Maya? How did we get caught up in this samsara? How that Maya has created that kind of a feeling of limitation in us. So it's a very exhaustively dealt in Shastras. In a nutshell, if you want to know, we should only first understand this Ajnanam or Maya has got 2 powers. You must have studied Vedanta. One is Vikshepa Shakti, other is Avarana Shakti. Some people call it first Avarana Shakti, then Vikshepa Shakti. Both explanations are there. I am not going again into all those discussions. So, what is Avarana Shakti? Avarana Shakti means what? Avarana means veiling, covering. So, the veiling power of Maya, as Gurudev puts it first Avarana Shakti. He says this veiling power, it veils me, it covers me, my knowledge, my jnana, Avarana Shakti. And Avarana Shakti is caused by what? Tamoguna. Because of Tamoguna, Avarana Shakti, it wields the self. Okay. What is that Vikshepa Shakti does? Once, there's a Gurudev says always, very beautiful example Gurudev would say. A person is going on the road or somewhere. So somebody goes and comes to you and asks you, for example. They come and ask you, do you know that person who is going that side, other side on the road? Do you know that person? So you say, I don't know. Generally, Gurudev would say, Chinmayananji would say beautifully, invariably, we just don't stop there. We don't say, I don't know, and keep quiet. We project. We say, I don't know, but he looks like bad man, good man, I think he is. Then Gurudev would say, if you don't know, how can you think? That means what? Avarana Shakti is wielding power. It is wields my knowledge. I don't know. It wield. I don't know. When I don't know, I can't keep quiet. Immediately, my projection will come there. You observe now in our own lives. So, Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. In Srishti Krama, when Bhagavan created, Sankalpa he made, there, Mahatmas declare the Vikshepa Shakti Maya first created the world, and that creation created a wheeling over Jiva. He himself forgot. The Vikshepa Shakti created, then I am so fascinated by my creation covered me and made me forget what I am. So that's why Jiva is Ishvara. Who is Ishvara and Jiva? So Ishvara only is Jiva. Vedanta, we speak about it. So these two Shaktis are there. One is Vikshepa Shakti, second is Avarana Shakti. So, like Indrajala or my magician creates out of nothing. There are great magicians are there. They show you something which appears to be real, but not real. Similarly, Maya creates this Dvaita Prapancham, this duality, this samsara, this world of things and beings, including my own body, my mind. All these things are created and superimposed on itself. And I feel that I am forgotten who I am. I feel I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, etc. And this is called Adhyasa. Adhyasa Bhashya is there. Very beautiful Bhashya. In Brahma Sutras it will come. Anyonya Adhyasa. So this is called Adhyasa. So therefore, this is called superimposition. Technically, it is called Adhyasa or superimposition. But what about my real Atma, the real self inside? It is totally unaffected. Unaffected. Just as the waker is not affected by the apparent dream, which is created by waker's sleep. Waking mind slept, and in that sleep, he created the Dvaita Prapancham. But actually, whatever the world is created in dream, the waker is not affected. Waker is totally unaffected by the dream world and the dreamer. So that remember the dreamer in the dream world and the dream world which is created by the dreamer, both exist in the waker. Similarly, this little ego and the world that I am experiencing now, both are superimposed adhyastam in my own self. Higher self we call for our understanding. So from that higher, lower self is ego. That higher self, in that higher self, Everything, this world and the experiencer, the body, the mind, everything exists in him. Very beautiful thing. Therefore, I create a mischief. I create all these things. Gurudev, once he wrote a letter to somebody. See, Vedantins are, we can't understand Vedanta, and sometimes we feel irritated also. Because of lack of understanding, we think that masters have no heart to understand. Sometimes we feel masters are ruthless, masters are shrewd, masters are very dry. They appear to be like that. That is not truth, but it's like when somebody wrote a letter about the creation. So Gurudev immediately shot back. In the letter he said, you must explain why did you create this world, this universe. Tell me, why did you do this mischief? He asked this question. Why did you do this mischief? The man who received the letter was confused. I didn't create anything. But it is actually your world. What actually you are experiencing is your creation. My world that I am experiencing is my creation. So if I want to see the world which is not my projection, then I will awaken to the truth only. So therefore, what is that now? Double adhyasa takes place. Will example also will come in next slokas also. That is, anatmani atma dharma adhyasah and atmani anatma dharma adhyasah. On the self, I superimpose anatma, not self, and consider myself as not self. And I give all the reality to the non-existing mithya vastu. The reality is me. So I superimpose my existence on the worldly objects, lend the existence to worldly objects, and I call them as real. This confusion, which takes place in dream also. Therefore, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, this samsara is swapna tulyohi. Beautiful thing. Samsaraha swapna tulyohi. Like a dream only. Just as everybody's dream is different. Everybody's projection is different. So there is two types of projection, mass projection and individual projection in this world. A group projection and individual projection. And because of these, like mass projection, like, a group of people, a community thinks about other community, a projection that this community is like this community is like this country is like this. They project something. It's called mass projection. Very, very, very difficult. Explained all those things by great masters. So first of all, he says, this samsara, what is samsara? Samsriyate asmin iti samsaraha. Samsara sapnatulyohi. What is samsara? Samsriyate means constantly moving. Moving where? Asmin. Asmin means in this entire world of plurality. From one loka to other loka, from one dream to other dream, from one state to other state, from one projection to other projection, from one birth to other birth, from one body to other body. Samsriyate asmin iti samsaraha. So this samsara, samsarati, constant change in a state of flux. Samsaraha swapna tulyohi. This is a beautiful. That means what? This is nothing but like a dream. Dream is mithya. So whatever is mithya, remember, mithya means it is born out of ignorance. Full stop. How do we know that samsara is mithya? Pratikshanam pradvamsa bhavaha. Next moment, it is not the same. The moment before what it was, the moment pratikshana vipradvamsa bhavaha, samsara. Shankaracharya ji beautifully explains in Bhashya. It is constantly being destroyed in front of our eyes and new things are created. And if we inquire into it, it does not have any existence, satta. Therefore, mithya, appearance. Appearances are not real. So therefore, whatever is mithya, it is all born out of ignorance. Like mithya is sarpaha, snake on the rope. Where did it took birth from? Ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of rope. The knowledge of absence of the knowledge of rope. But I feel there is something, rope should exist to see the snake. But rope I am not seeing. Therefore I see, based on my samskara, I see snake there. Beautiful. Now somebody will come and ask, Swamiji, what is the problem with mithya? Okay, it is mithya. Okay. But I am beautiful, sunrise, sunset, Prakriti is so beautiful. Poets are writing poetry. This entire universe is expression of divinity only. It is appearing so beautiful. Bhagavan Shankar, it may be beautiful. It may look good. You may be inspired by Prakriti beauty and write poetry also. It may be. But if there is nothing wrong in this world, what would be the necessity for me to write so many books? So there is something problem in this samsara. It looks glittery. It looks so beautiful. No doubt about it. You may enjoy the beauty. Okay, granted. But don't give the status of reality. You may see a sunrise, but sun never rises. So therefore, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tadvat jeevitam atishaya chapalam. Extremely chapalam, volatile, restless, vidhi, vyadhi, abhimanagrastam. This body is subjected to a lot of diseases. And because, so many types of ego we have. Abhimanagrastam. And therefore, what did he mention? Samsara, lokam, shokahitam cha samastam. Samastam lokam, shokahitam. So therefore, very clearly, whether we like it or not, all the great masters say, Buddha said same thing, Vedanta says something, that in this samsara, you can only see glittery, but actually it is shokamayam only, if you really understand. There is a pleasure. There is a fleeting pleasure, no doubt about it. But that pleasure also is ending in pain only. But somebody was telling on the other day, it is all pessimistic view. I said it is neither pessimistic view nor optimistic view. It is simply the fact. So Veda doesn't say don't enjoy life. Okay, you want to enjoy, enjoy. When you are seeking the ice cream, enjoy ice cream, but understand it is melting in your hand. This joy of ice cream will come to an end. Know it and go through the experience. That experience doesn't bind you. No, go through it. You can see a mirage water, no problem. You can write how the waves are dancing on the mirage waters and how the sunshine is playing and how beautiful they are. And you can imagine certain things. You can write poetry. Perhaps whatever you are seeing it, you can also portray it in a painting. No doubt about it. Very good. Well and good. Okay. People appreciate. But don't give status of reality to it. So this is the word meaning of that samsara swapna tulyohi. So where is the problem? Problem is not in enjoying life. Okay, enjoy life, no problem. Good food, enjoy. Good company, enjoy. Good tour, you enjoy. Good health, enjoy. No doubt about it. but do not give status of reality. That's the mantra. That's the inverted commas. And where is the pain in samsara? In swapnatulyohi samsaraha. One second thing is raga dveshadi sankulaha. My God. And we are actually suffering because of raga and dveshadi sankulaha, full of attachments, aversions. Raga is attachment, dvesha is aversion. Like a beautiful Mahatma example gives that if you see a snake which is a mithya on the rope, it will cause aversion because you are scared, you are shivering. So your fear is there. So you don't like it. There is dvesha born towards the snake. I don't want it. That's not a pleasant experience. I hate it. I hate the snake. I get scared of it. And similarly, if you see a shell, silver in the shell, there the raga is created, attachment is formed. Okay, it may be real silver, let me take it. सीप में चांदी को देखना. That experience may appear as a silver, but that appearance makes me attract towards it. Snake appearance on the rope makes me hate and run away. This is how on the appearances only the second step of experience is on the mithya jagat raga dveshadi sankulaha. देखो भगवान शंकराचार्य जी, भगवान श्री कृष्ण in Bhagavad Gita always wants us towards Bhagavad Gita. Once we get freed from raga and dvesha, we enjoy a great mental peace. Oh, दुःखेषु अनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीः मुनिः उच्यते. In dukkam is not udvigna nahi hota, not getting disturbed. Sukeshu vigataspruhaha. In sukha he doesn't lose his own balance. Freed from raga and dvesha, vita raga bhaya krodha. Raga, bhaya, krodha, ityadi, anger, the attachments and fear and anger. Such a person is Sthitadi. He enjoys life. Not that he has no tongue to taste Rasagulla. Yes. If you ask him, how is the Rasagulla? Very sweet. Of course, very sweet. But he is not bound by it. He is not attached to it. So there is a freedom. And that freedom we should experience. That will come only when I awaken myself to my own state of consciousness and then see this Jagat literally as nothing but mithya, as an appearance. It is nothing but an appearance on the play of on the consciousness. Sorry. Ragadveshadi sankulaha swakale satyavadbhati prabodhe sati asadbhavet. Swakale in swapnakala satyavat bhati. It appears as everything is real. In dream hunger is real. Because pain is there. Dream dukkham, dream sorrow is real. Dream sukham is real. That's why we say sometimes, yeah, why did you wake me up while I was dreaming a sweet dream? Because while I was dreaming, it was all real. So at the time of experiencing this Jagat, it appears real for me. Prabodhe, when you wake up from the dream, asat bhavati, it doesn't exist at all. It was all unreal. Therefore, so what we should understand, can we give up our body? No. Can we give up our work? No. So do everything. Anyway, I'll not go into that particular point. So now, see, therefore, work everywhere. Do your duties. Live life. But remember, do not give status of reality to the world. That is what Bhagavan Shankaracharya speaks in this so beautiful verse, 6th verse. Now, 7th verse we will go. तावत् सत्यं जगद्भाति शुक्तिकारजतं यथा तावत् सत्यं जगद्भाति शुक्तिकारजतं यथा यावन्न ज्ञायते ब्रह्म सर्वाधिष्ठानमद्वयम् यावन्न ज्ञायते ब्रह्म सर्वाधिष्ठानमद्वयम्. Now he says, this sloka says that the world, mithya prapancham, it appears to be real. Why? Because the reality here, mutual superimposition is explained here. So, Jagat tavat satyam bhati yavanna jnayate brahma sarva adhishtanam advayam brahma yavat na jnayate tavat jagat satyam bhati. As long as we are not able to know that adhishtanam substratum, so long the superimposed adhyastam jagat appears to be real. See? So, where did, now one thing, when I see the jagat, I see it as existing only. Jagat exists, sun exists, moon exists. But when it is all merely appearance, where is that the existence has got, all these things have got existence from adhishtan, from substratum? What is that which is lending the existence to the snake? Rope. Rope is lending its existence, satta, to the snake. Meaning, if there is no rope, snake can never exist. Therefore, the very fact that a superimposition is possible because there exists a substratum. Therefore, what is happening? Anyonya adhyasa is taking place. So, the existence of Brahman is falsely transferred to Jagat. Then I feel Jagat is existing. So, this kind of a false appearance, anyonya mutual superimposition. Why this is anyonya adhyasa is taking place? The like existence of the snake, sorry, the rope is lent to the snake. Therefore, snake exists. I say snake exists. That is wrong. Panchadashi, we analyzed it. That is the wrong statement. I feel, but snake is there. Therefore, this is happening because of avivekam. We are unable to discriminate between the false and the real. And because I am unable to discriminate, why am I unable to discriminate? Because of avidya. What is avidya? Avarana Shakti, avidya's avarana Shakti has covered my knowledge, my wisdom. Then I project snake there. So, as long as this aviveka, ignorance continues, we will transfer that satyatvam of the adhishtanam or the substratum to Jagat and call Jagat as real. So therefore, tavat Jagat satyam bhati. As long as we are unable to know the adhishtanam, tavat yavat na jnayate brahma sarva adhishtanam brahma tavat Jagat satyam bhati. So long as we don't know, we don't understand the substratum, so long for all of us, this Jagat appears to be real. Friends, we have to only believe Shastra and all those great teachers and masters, gurus, those who awaken and confidently tell us that this is unreal. Please wake up. So, therefore, this is the Adhishthana, something which lends support, its existence to that one. So, this is the main idea where he wanted to convey that when your drishti is on Jagat, Brahman is invisible. When we are able to see Brahman, Jagat becomes mithya. Jagat may continue to appear, but we enjoy that appearance without being caught up. You know, so many pictures people show on mountains also, very many images are there. You will see as though somebody is standing, somebody's clear-cut pictures are available. It's all superimposition. In psychology, they say that our human brain has got a tendency to superimpose forms on every perception. Some form is, even a formless thing, we create that everything on a form. Suppose clouds. Clouds have no form. They have their own form, irregular forms. But I superimpose a horse or anything, sir. So I connected everything. Some parts of the clouds, I connect it and I form an image and see an image. So in psychology, that is the function of the brain. So in the Suktika Rajaha, like sheep and Chandi, shell and the silver. In the shell and silver, what is happening? Shell is real, but unseen. Silver is unreal, but seen. See, one is real, unseen. Silver is unreal, but seen. So, shell's existence is lent to silver. So, shell's existence, satta, lent to silver, and thereby non-existent silver appears to be existing. See? So shells exist. Then similarly, silver has shining property, but the shell has no shining property. So silver's shining is superimposed on the shell. This is beautifully analyzed in Shastras. In Panchadashi also, Vijayamani analyzes this example in a huge way, very beautiful way, a mega screen. Therefore, one lends to its own existence, other lends its shining to the shell, which is not shining. Therefore, mutual adhyasa, like the fire and the ball, iron ball. Iron ball is cold, but it is heated very well. It started glowing. So what happens? It becomes a glowing fireball. Actually, the fire has no shape. It has its own irregular shape, but it took the shape of an iron ball. So the shapeless fire took the shape of an iron ball, and the cold iron ball becomes hot. So the fire has given its lent is heat to the iron ball. Iron ball lent is shape to the fire. This is called Anyonya Adhyasa. This is the problem of the world. Brahma Sutras beautifully explained. In fact, if we understand that Adhyasa Bhashya, I think we will realize the truth. Why I should think it is a fact. You will know, you can very clearly see Viveka will come. Once Vivekodaya takes place, the Viveka discrimination rises in us. We will not be the same person. We live, we do our heart, we talk, we think, everything is fine. But we are not the same person again. Like, as a child also, you used to go to toy shop. But that time, you were attracted to toys, disturbed by the presence of different toys. You got disturbed. Mind drags you to every toy. And as an elderly person also, you are going to toy shop. So the toys are not disappeared because you have grown out of the toy age. Toys may continue to appear. But these are all worthless pieces. It is for children, not for me. For me, it is worthless. So I am not disturbed by seeing any toy. I enjoy. I congratulate the company which makes the toy. I congratulate the scientists or when the technicians who brought the beautiful piece, which is very electronical made. I enjoy, appreciate the product. Yet I am not caught up. So Brahman is the support of this entire substratum. And as long as I don't see it, so long the appearances will continue to appear and bind us to this false reality. Therefore, in these two slokas, so beautifully, our Acharya explains that first sloka says, Samsara is Swapnatulyaha, and in this Swapna Samsara, we are afflicted by Raga and Dvesha, attachments and aversions. Remember, imagine a life freed from Raga and Dvesha. Just imagine. Imagination is very helpful in this kind of spiritual sadhanas. In fact, a master says, act as though you are enlightened. This is what Sthitaprajna Lakshanas tell us. All those qualities which are very natural for a man of realization. For me, I must also act like as though I am a liberated man and demonstrate those qualities. That becomes my practice. So, Raga Dvesha, if you are able to remove this Raga and Dvesha, one can experience a great peace. So, as long as we are in dream appears to be real. Once I wake up, dream is unreal. As long as I don't see the Jagat, the Adhisthana Brahma, so long the Jagat appears. Once I see the Brahman, this Jagat disappears, meaning it doesn't disappear. But it may appear, it will not have any power to bind us to this world. Thus, we have seen these two slokas today. So, I'll conclude here.